Hey guys, your boy M.K.S. Try and make this video relatively short and sweet compared to my previous videos. Not hugely short and sweet, but about 9 minutes, and then I'm going to try and do a bit of hoovering or something like that, and then go for a walk and enjoy the sunshine finally. Anyway, I thought I'd do this video before I go out or whatever. If you haven't checked out part one and two, please do so, and I hope you find these ideas interesting. As I say, this is like my video in list form, so as I hope you'll enjoy it. Appreciate any comments, likes, sharing with other people, and things like that. I really appreciate that. Please do leave a comment if you'd be so kind. It'd be great. Hopefully it won't be, well, unless it's a rude comment, but even if it's suggestions or feedback or anything like that. So anyway, I'm going to try and get through to the list. As I said before, I'm hoping to mainly focus on empowering Asian entrepreneurs, and that's my thoughts of today. 21, I hope to remember why I want to do this stuff, which is to empower people from Asia, and it's something to do, it's something to keep me going, and also to help other people, which makes you feel good in turn, I think. So I'm hoping to stick to that goal as much as possible, and why I wish to support people in Asia. Just remind myself, as an anti-imperialist, and most, if not all, Asian nations, just like African nations, were colonized, so I think they have a lot in common, which is something I hope to come to, like improving relations between Asian and African nations, and look at what they have in common and shared histories that they have to improve relations as much as possible. And also because, like I talked before about how white supremacists or neo-Nazis or far right hate people of colour, so I think we should support each other. And being part Asian myself, although I wish to also support African nations at this moment in time, just to make it different as well, and hopefully interesting. Rather than just focus on one thing, I hope to vary it a bit, so mix it up and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, that's the reasons why I wish to do that. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I'm hoping I've been thinking about it for a while, but I've not managed to motivate myself enough to do this. But I'm hoping to go in the garden and do a bit of writing in the garden about some ideas, if I can, go through some of my paperworks and take them on. One of the problems I had is I collected so many notebooks, and then by the time I go to write them, I forget what I'm going to write, or I become indecisive about which ones I'm going to write. So I wasn't as organised in the beginning, so that's made things difficult. But I hope to take on that challenge and go through the paperwork and write what I can. But yeah, while the sun's out, make the most of it and go in the garden and do some writing, and that sort of thing. 22, I hope to look, as well as looking at the history of entrepreneurship and what Asians can learn from different businesses, the mistakes they've made, possibly how to avoid those mistakes, or how to keep going in spite of making mistakes. So some people say you're always going to make mistakes in business. It's like learning from other people's mistakes just shows you that you're not the only one who makes mistakes or fails from time to time, but that you have to take risks and be prepared to take losses as well. So most big business people are probably prepared to take those losses as well, as far as I'm aware. So what a lot of people say, instead of reading success stories, you should, or watching YouTube videos of success stories, you should look at failures, because then you can learn how to avoid those mistakes. Other people have made those mistakes with their own money and time, so you can avoid those, and instead, it's like, unfortunately, obviously you don't want to see a car crash, but if you see a car crash, it'll make you think more about reducing your speed or whatever it is. So rather than having to go through those expensive and time-costing mistakes, to learn from other people's is probably an advantage. So people in Asia do that, and also learn from each other. Let's say like a Chindian partnership between China and India, what they can learn from each other about mistakes to avoid things like that, and the rest of Asia too. And I'd love to create Pan-Asian enterprise or entrepreneurship in the future. 23, as I talked before, I hope to support some people from poorer backgrounds, like slums and orphanages, which I keep talking about, as well as people from just generally poor backgrounds or people with low self-esteem, so that they can use entrepreneurship to lift themselves out of poverty, and how to bring charities together that can fund those groups to learn about business and other skills that will help them in the future. 24, as I hope to network with other people, but hope to have like a Pan-Asian enterprise around the world, and also like how the diaspora can help people across Asia as well, to like, so successful business people of Indian or Chinese or whatever other origin, whatever other Asian origin, or even mixed race people like myself, going into Asia and investing, and also like looking at how they can mentor and teach people in Asia about business. Like, I can't think of too many mixed race, part Asian business people, but I'm sure there's some out there. Some might not be famous, but they've still done well, built a business, so they know how to build a business. So going to parts of Asia, and I think that could also make you feel a lot better if you help people from slums and orphanages to learn about business and things like that, and like bring groups together, and like part Asian YouTubers going to Asia as well, and supporting, and Asians supporting each other's projects, including each other's YouTubes and things like that, YouTube channels. So like having lots and lots of subscribers and subscribing to each other's channels and things like that. I've talked before about I'm not looking to make a lot of money, I'm just looking to have enough to live on, but also most of the money I'd want to give away if I made a lot of money. But also, like, at the same time, obviously having many subscribers makes you feel good, because it means that hopefully people are enjoying your work, for whatever reason, whether it's because it's charitable or it's fun to watch or whatever. And secondly, it means that I'll be in position to help more people as well. So there are two reasons why I'd love to have those subscribers: one for ego and one to help other people. So yeah, I'd love to encourage Pan-Asianism, including in politics, but also including in business, enterprise, and things like that. And again, mentors, and like, yeah, one person who's part Asian who I think offers, who's quite financially well-to-do, if we can say, is Tiger Woods, who's part native, part African American, and part Asian American, and like he said, Caucasian or something like that. So he's part white, part Asian, part native, and part black. So, but I know he's not a business person, but he's got a lot of money which he can invest in Asia, and like if he agreed to do so, like maybe sharing the idea with him, he might say, "Oh, that's a good idea, it'd make me feel better," and investing in like stationery or training materials or things like that, or even like small loans or for businesses. And if he's got quite a lot of money, I'm sure, even if he gave like a couple of grand to a business, start their own business, he probably wouldn't even need to lend it as a loan. He could just, like, if he wanted to, obviously that would be his choice, but he could give that money away. So and like, thinking like people like singers or entertainers, obviously they're not business, most of them are probably not business people, some of them might be, but they could probably still give investments or loans to businesses or things like that. But anyway, I'd love to share that idea and see how many people I can encourage to do that across Asia. And talking about Asia not being just one of, like, what people think of Asia, they normally think, in America, they normally think of people from the Far East, like China, especially. Excuse me. And here in the UK, they normally think of people from India or Pakistan, but Asia's like a broad continent, sorry, made of many nations. I'm not sure how many, but I think I've heard of it, how many there are, but I can't quite remember that figure. But anyway, I'm hoping to find out more information as well about Asia generally. 25, I suppose I'm a bit biased towards republics. I prefer republics because, like with monarchies, normally people are forced to pay taxes towards that particular family. And because I'm a libertarian, although I'm a Dole-weller myself, unfortunately, I think that takes away a lot of people's choices. So I probably particularly, although I'd want to support all of Asia, I'd probably prioritise a little bit more, at least, countries like India and China, which are which are republics more so than ones that are monarchies. And I'd love to have a list of the top of Asian republics and things like that, and also like the top richest republics in the world and things like that. But yeah, I'd love to support republics more, although I love to support Asia generally. Sorry if I'm waffling. Number 26, I wish to support Asia as part of like reparations. Again, like I talked about in part 21 or point 21. Reasons to support Asia, and one of them is because they were like countries like India were colonized. I know China had its own empire, and even Japan had its own empire. But as far as I'm aware, I'm not sure how many countries in Asia were not colonized. Probably all of them were colonized at some point, like Vietnam, Iraq, India, China, or at least taken over and run by at least invaded. Like Iraq, people might say it wasn't colonized, but it depends what you mean by colonization. But like it's been taken over, people invaded it. So that's why I love to support countries like that, and we build, like fundraise to build buildings there, like in Iraq, to have like anti-imperial buildings, training centers, de-radicalization centers, entrepreneurship centers, and all sorts of things like that. And probably looking at how to improve their security so they can bring tourism in, and create summits or events where they invite heads of other states, and it helps their country more, and countries like Vietnam as well. Excuse me, sorry. I know this video has gone a bit longer than planned, so I apologize for that one. 27, once again, like I hope people sponsor Asian projects, and like banks or other organizations, like obviously they're going to sponsorships often done for like PR reasons, increase of PR or reputation generally, basically. So people could perhaps do that, and I think if Asians are more united and people see that Asians support organizations or companies that support them, they support them back in turn. They're hopefully more likely to want to invest in Asia and fund Asian projects and things like that. So yeah, I'm hoping that people from Asia will buy from those companies more, which will encourage them to invest more and things like that. And also, like as a side note, this is not the reason why I wish to support Asia, but I talked before about how like I'm a fan of Italian football and Celtic, and how I like patterns. And number 27 is like normally the number I think of, which is like rewards for some reason. Like I think like rewarding people. So I hope people from Asia will support Italian football and Celtic as a reward for me supporting them. Maybe I'm being a bit naive there, but it's another one of my quirky ideas. 28, I hope for Asian nations support each other when they're going through bad things, and to generally encourage and uplift each other. Like if an Asian nation, heaven forbid, goes through like a natural disaster or something bad happens to that country, other Asian nations can help them, and then obviously when they're struggling, they can help each other. So I hope they'll support each other, and through networking together, I think that, as I say, a problem shared is a problem halved. And also, if you have ideas, like share them with each other, you can collaborate and get even more ideas and even more ways to support each other. I hope that makes sense. As I say, 29, I hope to encourage my fellow mixed race people, as I call it, as mutts, sometimes for a joke, to support people across Asia. Number 30, I hope I won't waffle too much in my future videos, but I'd love to know what you think, and love to have lists like top 30 entrepreneurs in Asia, top 30 entrepreneurs, under 30 young entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, and all sorts of things like that. So I'm going to stop waffling because I don't want this video, I know it's already been really long. So peace and love.